So content result, I'm just using Visual Studio. I'm creating a new project. Okay. In this, go to solution, file, new project. Core template, sample controller example, right? And go to location, E drive, Narendra, V80, .NET 2, ASP.NET Core MVC, select the folder. Next, disable the configuration. I'm using .NET 6.0 long-term support, create. Right here in the Solution Explorer, right click, adding a new folder, controller. The Solution Explorer, I'm adding a new folder called controller. Right click, add a class. To make the class as controller, you have to add attribute of controller class. So what I will do, I'll create a class with the name content controller, or you can say so you just make home right now. No need to do anything, just home controller. Sorry. You have to name the class as home controller. Right click, add new item, select the class. You mark here home controller. What is your class name? Ma? Home controller. Now inside home controller, public content result. I'm going to pass download. Right? I'm going to use content result. To return a content, any content, you need to have content class, which will derive from the namespace controller. In the ASP.NET MVC Core, you will have content result, which internally call a action result. Or you got my point? Where these action results are coming from? This action result internally derived from a namespace iAction. Where this iAction will come? Under .NET Core.MVC. Or you got my point? So you are going to do everything. Now go back. Here, I'm going to specify controller. Right? Now, when you make this attribute as controller, this entire home controller will be treated as home controller. Now you will have a content result. So what I'm going to do, return new of content result, which requires 2 arguments. The content result class containing two arguments. What are all the arguments? You have content argument. You have content equal to allow from download action. And then you have to pass a content type. Instead of text.html, you can say plain. Right? So this is how you have to return your code. You understand? So you are creating an instance of this class in which you are calling these properties. And this is your actual response from the body. And this is your header response. Do you know, right? What is the content type? Are we passing an HTML? All those things will become here. So you can say here, simply, hello. You have to configure this action as route. How are you going to configure? You are going to say that home. Right? Now build the project. Will it work? Will it work? It will not work. Why? Because you have to register this controller class in your builder method. Am I right or wrong? Am I right, Suresh?
Yes, sir.
So in the program.cs file, you have to remove this. You have to say app.use routing. And then app.map controllers. You have to use these two methods. You got my point? When you make these two methods, this will become a routing of home. It in turn calls this download method. Now see. Okay. What is this asking? You are not added any service collection. So you need to add as a services of controllers. How to add a services of controllers? Here. Builder dot services dot add controllers. You have to add controllers. Then only if you are added this controller as a service, then only the mapping can happen. You got my point? So that is the sequence we learned. Anything you create as a class, you need to add as a service. If you are not adding as a service, what will happen? Your map object may not understand where is the controller, where is the model, where is the everything. So always a better practice, your first line of code is you need to include a service. Why I am using add controllers, not specific controller. If I create 10 to 20 controllers in your project, everything will be added dynamically with the help of add controller. How I am confirming, I will show you. Right click, go to definition. You see, it will inject all the services as a controller code. Go to definition. You see, all the MVC core controllers will be added here. Or you got my point?
Yes, sir.
Now try to run the Express. It will work. See, now the local host is done. So what is your route name here? You say home is your route name. It got the download? Got the download or not?
Yes, sir.
Now F11, it returns an object. Now you see allow from download action. See, I'm going for an inspect element. See the network. Again, I'm refreshing. You got the home page. You got the home doc. Now, if you look into the home doc, you see the content type which I added as plain. Look into that. The content type is added.
Yes, sir.
Am I right or wrong? So, who is passing the content type? I am passing the content type. Now, who is getting the response here? You see allow from download action, which I get as a response in the network. All these two things are added based on the home controller. So this is one way to pass a controller. Or you got my point? Sir, if at all I'm using controller directly here, okay, I'll tell you that one later. Now, sir, if I want to download a HTML, if I want to download a HTML, what I can give? I can say download. I can say download HTML method. Return new of content result. Return new of content result. Here content equal to. Here I'm going to give content equal to. I simply say h1 slash h1 and I'm going to give h2 and here I'm going to give h2. Okay. What is the h1 I'm going to give? I'm going to say home controller. Home controller. What is my action? I'm going to configure a route. Route HTML return. HTML return. I can simply say HTML return action method. Okay. Comma content type. Here I'm going to say HTML. Now, what are the things I'm passing? I'm passing an HTML where my response is HTML. Okay. Now run the express. You can say here HTML return enter. You got the breakpoint? It has detected the route or not? Now F11. You see, I got the H1 tag and H2 tag has been added as a result. Suresh,
Yes, sir.
Now, if you go back, see your inspect element, go to network, refresh once again, run it. You got an HTML written. When you look into the header, you see the content type is what? Text by HTML. And the response is HTML controllers. You got my point? So this is how you have to pass a different type of content, where this content type will be called it as MIME content type. Okay, this content type will be called it as MIME content type. Let me explain. First point, this action is used to generate a response as a content with specific type. You got my point? Like string, HTML, XML, etc. Okay. Here, content type. Here, content result class is used to return an object with the help of content and content type property, which is inbuilt in which object? Which is inbuilt in content result class, which is inbuilt in content result class. That is the second point. You understand? Content result is used to return an object with the help of content and content type property, which is inbuilt in content result class. Third point, where this content result will be derived from? The content result is derived from content result classes derived from Microsoft ASP.NET Core .MVC namespace. You got my point? Without a content result class, you cannot able to derive anything. You got my point? Which internally derived from which class? Action result, which internally derived from action result class. You got my point? Every controller has a action. Here, action result class is a base class of controller containing method. Here, action result is a base class of controllers, containing action method. If you are not passing the action result as a base class, you cannot treat that as a controller method. You got my point? So that is how content result. Now, second topic is file result. File result method. You got my point? The file result method can be derived into can be derived into two types. One is virtual file result. Virtual file result class. Second one is physical file result class. Physical file result class. Now, how to create a file? How to pass the file as a component? Simply go to your project, go to your solution, right click, create a folder, add folder www root. When you become a www root, you will be having a global, which we already discussed on static files. Here, add an existing PDF. Listen carefully, this is more important. After that, we can leave for the day. Monday, I can talk about JSON. Personal, automation anywhere, all files, take the experience letter. Right? Here, you simply say, rename letter.pdf. Okay, I have an experience letter, letter.pdf. Now go back to your home controller. You will write an action method here, public file virtual file result virtual file. Right? I am using a method called virtual file. I'm saying return new of virtual file result, where file name I can have file name. What is my file name here? What is your file name? Suresh, tell me. Suresh,
Experience letter, sir.
you can use rename, copy, slash file name, comma, content type equal to application slash PDF. Cannot be assigned, it automatically taken care. No worries. Right? I got the file result. It is having an overload object. What is that overload? Okay. See, it is not expecting like this. It is expecting like this. You have to pass here file type within that. Like this, it is expecting. Hey. Right here, you have to say slash paste. Here you have to say application slash PDF. You got my point. Now you say here route virtual download. Virtual download. I'm giving a template name as virtual download. Now putting a breakpoint, run the IAS. These are all most important. Okay, so that is the reason I'm teaching each and everything. Now copy, use a virtual download, enter. Now it detected or not? Now
Yes, sir.
this one will generate the file result and sends back to the browser. This is how a virtual download will happen. Got it? Virtual download happen or not? So this is how all your action results will be completed. Sir, this is virtual. I have one more, which is called as physical download. I have one more called public physical file result, physical file name. What is the method name? Physical file. Physical file method. Okay. This is also the same. Return new physical file result. You pass this parameter. Here you go and say double quotes, comma, double quotes. How you will do the double quote of content? You will add a content as, you go back to the Solution Explorer, right click, open File Explorer. You take the entire path of the file. You take the entire path of the file and say at paste. Okay. And then go back to the end. Say here double slash letter dot PDF. And then here application slash PDF. And then build the project. Done. Now what is your route name? You have to make the route name, right? Your route name is route. Here you go say physical file, physical download. You got my point? And then copy this physical download, put a breakpoint here, run it. Slash physical download. It got detected. Now run that. What? Something wrong. class function F11. Now you see URL is clearly formed. I think this URL is perfect. Let's see. Done. Hello. Done. Right. Now, Vishwa, I'm in call. I'm in a class. I'll call you by 12:30. Yeah. Yeah. Share me the your mail ID. I'll get back to you. Now got the file downloaded. Clear? So this is how things will work. Done? Sir,
Yes, sir.
I want to download JSON. I want to download JSON result, which I can teach tomorrow. It is
Okay,
easy,
sir.
but few of our colleagues are not written back, right? So I don't want to use immediately to complete. Okay, I don't want to do that. Okay, so this is most important topic I can teach. But okay, now you understand, right? How the returning type of everything will
Yes,
connect
sir.
with Monday and close it.
Sure,
Thank
sir.
you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.